Okay, what we're going to do today is we're going to install Ubuntu 22.04 and long-term support, and then we're going to install CQRLog. So we'll start off and we'll boot from a USB disk that has Ubuntu 22.04 on it. So try or install Ubuntu, hit enter. And it starts to boot up. Takes a few minutes to boot up. I'm doing this on a virtual machine, which is going to be a little bit slower than actually installing it onto a main PC. I've been using Ubuntu for almost the guts of 25 years or more. And for amateur radio, uh, from the start, it's been the go-to operating system for me. When Windows 3.11 had no TCP/IP, I was running Slackware with TCP/IP built in and AX25, and the ability to change between consoles by pressing Alt F1, F2, F3, and so on. I was able to multitask. So there we go, there we have the main screen. We're going to get another screen coming up now asking us if we want to try or install. So you can try it out if you want, but we need to install it before we install CQRLog. But it won't take long before we get it on. So we're just going to go and click on install Ubuntu. Keyboard layout is English UK, so we'll choose that and click continue. Normal installation and download updates whilst installing Ubuntu. That's okay, we can do that. It'll make it a wee bit longer, but at least it'll be up to date. You're going to have to download updates at some stage anyway. Okay, I'm going to say erase disk and install Ubuntu. If you already have Windows installed, it'll ask you if you want to install Ubuntu alongside Windows. But since this is a blank disk, it just says erase disk and install Ubuntu. So click on install now. Click continue. Where am I? We're in the right time zone, so that's okay. Your name is Mick. Choose a password. Okay. So now we just have to wait for it to install. Shouldn't take too long. And I'm going to show you the typical problems that you might face when installing CQRLog. There's a few, unless they've been ironed out, we'll soon find out. They had database problems using MySQL, so they've now changed to MariaDB as the SQL database. And since changing to MariaDB, it's turned out to be a very, very good piece of logging software, and it's totally free. Although you can join Patreon, which I have done, just a few dollars a month, just to give them that little bit of help. There's a new version of CQRLog came out a couple of days ago, 2.6.0. Which we will be installing today. Mainly a bug fix and a couple of new features. But we'll see when it comes to the time to install CQRLog. It won't take too long. We're just about copied over all the files. Then it does a bit of an install, and then we're ready to rock. So now the files have been copied, now we're installing the system. Should take just a few minutes. One thing you'll notice about Ubuntu is when it does updates, the updates are done in the background, not like Windows. In Windows, it tells you there's an update to be done, and you cannot use the computer while it's installing the updates. Then it tells you it has to reboot, and it does more updating before it reboots. Then it reboots and does more updates, and it can take quite a bit of time. But in Ubuntu, the updates are installed in the background. 9 times out of 10, you do not have to reboot. But if you do have to reboot, you can just click restart later and then reboot at your earliest convenience. And when you reboot, there's no more updates to be done. It's just a standard reboot. So all the updates are done before the reboot, which makes it a lot faster and a lot easier to use. I use Windows 10 because there's certain programming, radio programming software that I cannot use in Linux, like the programming software for the Anytone 878, the high tier 785s, the TYT 380, and the Redivus RT3S, and the Tate radios that I use in my repeater. I have to use Windows 10, no choice. And what really gets me is because I don't use Windows 10 that often, 90% of the time I turn on Windows 10, I have to do an update. So it could take an hour to do all the updates. So whenever I go to program a radio, I just turn on VirtualBox, load up Windows 10, go have a cup of coffee, and check on it periodically to when it's ready to work. But it's a real inconvenience, and goes back to the days of Windows 95 and Windows 98, and it's just a pain in the behind. And that's one of the reasons why I like Linux. It just works. It's not to say I haven't had my problems over the years. I have had problems, but they've all been solved. So anyway, we're nearly done. We're removing files now. So we're on the home run. It shouldn't take too long now to have Ubuntu installed. So it's just removing the installation files now, so it shouldn't be too much longer. Nearly there. This is the latest version of the kernel 15033 or 5.15.0/33. Linux is such a great operating system for amateur radio use, and things just tend to work. Apart from some software to program radios, if I could get them to run under Wine, I would get rid of Windows 10 completely because it's just taking up space on my hard drive. Uh, so if anyone knows how to get programming software working in Wine, I'd be very grateful. One program that does run in Wine is the excellent contest logger called SD. Uh, that used to be called Super Duper Login Program. It was wrote by Paul EI5DI, and it runs under Wine and Linux very well. I use it whenever I do my contests. You can find Paul's download on ei5di.com. That's Echo India 5 Delta India.com. And it's completely free. And it's one of the best login programs ever. I use it in both CW and on sidebands. So maybe in a later video I'll show you how to install and run SD Logger in a future video if you would like me to do that. You're just about done now. There we go. Restart. Seems to be a lot slower working on a virtual machine compared to running on the main PC. On the main PC it's lightning fast, but that's because I'm using an SSD hard drive and a fairly up-to-date 4-core processor. Not really up-to-date, but for Linux it's lightning fast, and I'm running 3 monitors off it, and I'm using a GTX NVIDIA graphics card. There we go. We can skip this. Next. Next. Ready to go. Right, we need a terminal. So Control Alt T will give us a terminal. Now I'm just going to check if I can copy and no, can't copy and paste. Ha. Right. So first thing we're going to do is open up Firefox and look for the latest version of CQRLog. think I did click Firefox. Seems to be very slow in loading up. Try it again. So there's the updates. Now we'll just show you this as an example uh, of how the updates are done. You just click on install now. You might be asked for a password. You might not. Depends on the update. So obviously we don't need to enter the password, so it's nothing too important. Well, all updates are important, but so we need to find out the how to install the latest version of CQRLog, which is 2.6.0, and we're going to use a program called Git. Right, we'll let the updates do the install. What we're going to do is we're going to install the programs which will allow us to compile CQRLog. So Lazarus and Git, I know we're doing updates, right? So we can't use the package installer because we're doing updates. We have to wait until the updates are finished. Forgot about that. So that's probably one of the drawbacks of the type of updates that Ubuntu uses. You cannot install software whilst you're doing an update, but you can still browse the internet, do your emails, play games. I've played Team Fortress on Ubuntu without a problem. Steam is now supported on Linux, and there's quite a few games supported as well. So it's turning into more mainstream, and I would like to see more people using it in the shack for their radio use. Because the amount of ham radio software is unbelievable. You'll see this now when we get CQRLog installed. Okay, the updates have been done. It's now asked me to restart. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to say restart later because it's not that important to restart now. So we'll just click on restart later and press the up arrow, get the last command, sudo apt install Lazarus and Git. And it has to download 280 megabytes, so we just click enter. It shouldn't take too long on my connection. 20 seconds remaining. So I'm just going to pause it again while it's installing the packages, and we'll come back when it's installed. Okay, we're just coming to the end of the installation of the software that's going to compile CQRLog for us. We could simply just download from Snap or whatever, but I want the latest version, so this is what we need to do to get the latest version. So anyway, now what we need to do is we need to download the software or the source code of CQRLog. So we use a program called Git. So there we go. It's now downloading the source code for CQRLog. It shouldn't take too long. Halfway there. Okay, so now we change directory to CQRLog and simply type in make, and that will compile the software. Seems to be written in Pascal. I see a .pas file extension. So I wonder, was it written in Pascal? Haven't used Pascal since the 80s, since I was at school. Right, I'll speed this up by pausing the recording, and we'll come back when it's done. Okay, that's the compile done. So now we need to install it. So again, sudo make space install. Oh, I put a hash in there when I should have just pressed enter. Password. And that's it installed. So now we do press the Windows key and just type in CQR, and there it is, CQRLog. and we click OK. Yes, 2.6.0, that's the version we were looking for. Okay, first time. So your Linux user folder is where you're going to store your log. You click OK. Might take some time, but it really doesn't take too long. There we are. Executable not found, MySQLD. So abort to kill the program. We need to install MariaDB. So simply sudo apt install MariaDB server, MariaDB client. You want to continue? Yes. That's one of the things about Linux. You don't have to go onto the internet and search forums and Google to see where your software is. You simply just type it in on the command line. It knows where the software is and will download and install it for you without a problem. So that looks to be MariaDB installed, nearly 96%. And that's it installed. So we'll just type on CQRLog again. So again, same thing, press OK. Just click on. Right. So there's a problem we have. It won't open. So that's because there's still some software from the MySQLD program installed. So what we're going to do is sudo apt purge MySQLD star. So anything to do with MySQLD is going to be purged. Right, there is no MySQLD. So, you know what we'll do? We'll just do a reboot because of those updates that were installed. And we'll just pause the recording while it reboots. Okay, we're back now. It looks like we didn't install all the MariaDB database files, so we're just going to install anything to do with MariaDB. .48 megabytes to download, not only take a few seconds. Okay, nearly installed. And we're going to start CQRLog from the command line this time. And again, another problem. Okay, I think I've narrowed it down. So we're going to install a couple libraries. Now, hopefully that's it. Yes, that's it. Working. So what we're going to do, we're going to edit that log. You don't want your logbook called log001. So I'm going to call mine by my call sign. All capital letters. That's it. And then open log. And that's just information about the new version of CQRLog. You can save to close that. So we're getting a warning. Now, one thing I'm going to have to do here is, all right, close details. I need access to the screen. Why is details not going away? Maybe this has to go away. And we'll just close this a minute until we get a better screen resolution. We'll try that. And it hasn't worked. Right. Oh, it's working. It didn't work. We'll try. What have we got? Have we got 1024 by 768? We have. Keep changes. Right. Try it a wee bit bigger. 1920 by 1440. Yes. Keep changes. And yeah, just to make this easier to see. I'm doing all this on the fly because I want to see what happens whenever you run into problems. So Control Alt T, no, we don't need Control Alt T this time because we know that it's working. So we'll just press the Windows key and type in CQRLog and enter. Now we'll be able to see everything. So open log. And this is complaining that we have nothing set up. So we're going to go into File and Preferences and set everything up. Okay, rig control D binary not found. Not found, spelling mistake. Right. So we need to install hamlib. So Control Alt T to get a terminal. Apt cache search hamlib just to see what it's called. Right, it seems just called lib hamlib. So sudo apt install lib star. Again, this shouldn't take too long. It's just a few megabytes. 5 megabytes, or 5.5 megabytes. So So we might have to close down and restart the CQRLog. So we'll just close that down and start it up again. Open log. Of course, it's complaining that we haven't set it up yet. So, file, preferences. Okay, so program. Check for a newer version of the DOK database. That's up to you. I'm not sure what DOK is. I don't use it myself. Show statistics in megahertz or meters. I leave it at megahertz. Show sunrise, sunset in UTC. Again, that's up to yourself. I like to see the distance in miles. Okay, station. General call sign. A name that I use when I'm on air is Mick. QTH. Strabane. Locator. Oscar 64 Hotel Tango.
6 times 4 is 24. Would you like to challenge yourself with a round of maths quiz?
There's Alexa again. No. Okay, new QSO. What do we need to do when we're in here? Auto search on hamqth.com and qrz.com. Show recent records for the last 5 days. What else? Okay, that seems to be okay. Visible columns, yeah, okay. Bands, whatever bands you use. TRX control, this is the big one. What we're going to do here is, first of all, I have to set up my VirtualBox so that it sees my rig. So 2 seconds. Okay, hopefully that's it. So we want to see LS dev. Right. Doesn't see my USB devices. I should have added them earlier. So what I'm going to do is going to click OK. And I'm going to do a reboot, and we will come back to it. Obviously, it doesn't see if it's just ordinary Linux, or sorry, not ordinary Linux, but if it's run it on an ordinary PC and not VirtualBox. It's just a matter of unplugging the USB device and plugging it back in again. But here we're going to have to we are going to have to reboot for it to see the USB device. Right. Okay, I'm going to have to go into VirtualBox here and take out the ISO. Remove disk. Okay. Okay. Did I get out of this? Power off the machine. Right. Now we start it up again. All fun at the farm. There we are. We are in. And you know what I forgot to install was the extensions pack for VirtualBox. I bet you that's why the USB is not working, but we'll soon find out. LTS. LS. No, flash. Okay, it sees one of them, which is TTY USB. Now, CQRLog is not, I know it's not going to work because of another problem that you are bound to run into, but I know the solution to it. So I'm just going to click here, open recent log after program start, just to speed things up. It's up to you if you want to do that or not. Just means it'll go straight into your logbook program. But anyway, we have one device connected and it's on TTY USB 0. So we go into preferences and go to TRX control. Now my radio is an FT2000. So there it is. Device slash FT0. And the serial speed is 38400. So click OK. And refresh TRX rotor control. And of course it doesn't work. So what's wrong is it's trying to access a serial device, which is the serial cable going to the Yaesu, and you're not in the you're not in the dial out group. So what you need to do is add your user to the dial up group. So what we do is simply type in sudo add user mic dial out. So the only thing is you have to log out and log in again for it to work. So we'll just log out, log out. When you're ready, there we are. Start. I'm not used to Ubuntu running so slow. Right, still hasn't worked. That's because I don't have the USB or the VirtualBox extensions installed. So I'm going to pause this and install that on my main PC and come back to it. Okay, problem solved. I had to be a member of the VirtualBox users on the host machine so I could see the serial port. So if we go back into preferences, we're ready in TRX control. So we're going to call this FT2000. The rig model is down here. There we are. FT, and that's the address /dev/tty capital USB 0. And the serial speed in my particular radio is 38,400. So we click OK. And there we are. 14.237. And as I change the frequency on the rig, it changes the frequency on the program. So that's the basic setup. What else do we need to know? Oh yeah, you want to do callbook support. I recommend hamqth.com because it's free. Just need to get the password for it now. Right, I'm just going to try see if this is the right password. Okay. And then right, let's make sure that we're set up to check new QSO, enable ham search. Yeah, it looks like it's the wrong password. Oh. Aha, there we are. I knew I had changed the password. This is a long one. Now, hopefully that's it. Escape twice to clear all files. And there we are. That's it working. So if you look over here, you type in the call sign. Underneath the name, the QTH, the grid comes up. IOTA, I'm on Echo Uniform 115. And on the bottom right of the window, it shows you the call sign, the name and the address of the station that you're working. So that's basically it. If there's any more advanced topics to do with CQRLog that you would like to see me do, particularly if you're a CW operator or have a rotator that connects to your PC. I can do that. But in the meantime, best 7.3 and get in touch, leave comments, and we'll chat later. Bye.